evening, everyone. Namaste. And today morning, my laptop had got some technical issues and it hanged. So I had to postpone this session to evening. And but we have to still make sure that once we have made the commitment towards yoga and meditation, it has to happen every day. So whether you're doing it in the morning, early morning, or in the evening, but it has to be practiced regularly, and that is the reason we are here today in the evening. In the last session, we discussed about what yoga and meditation means, and I told you that there are different types of yoga, and the first type of yoga was Raja Yoga, which is the royal path. And there are 8 branches of Raja Yoga. So one of the 8 branches is pranayam, and we practiced pranayam in our last session. And today we are going to know about the first branch of Raja Yoga. So the first branch of the 8 limbs of yoga, as outlined by Yoga Sutra, is Yama, that is self control. So, according to Patanjali Yoga Sutras, there are 5 restraints one has to take in consideration if they want to grow and advance on spiritual path. So, we will talk about these 5 restraints which when we are living day by day, we don't pay much attention. People say that okay, I am doing a lot of meditation, I'm practicing yoga every day, but according to me, spirituality is about the emotions, the balance of emotions, taking into consideration about how a human should be and what is humanity, the basics of humanity, what is the nature, and how well we are in sync with the nature. That is something which determines your growth in spirituality. So I'll enlist 5 restraints which we should consider for self-control, and we have to control ourselves on those parameters. So the first is ahimsa. Ahimsa is something which you must have heard. Gandhiji led big revolutions on ahimsa. So today, practically, it's not very possible that we perform non-violence, because non-violence also means that you're not killing any creature, right? But then in our surroundings, there are so many germs that we have to kill them so that we can survive and we can remain healthy. But then we should consider that we don't intentionally hurt any creature, we don't intentionally create violence against any living creature. So that is the first restraint. The second is satya. Now, satya means to be truthful and not lying, basically. Now, why this? Uh, it doesn't mean that you have to be tactless, but one should always tell the highest truth. So, it is one of the restraints because we tend to live either in the future or in the past. So we create alternate realities in our mind that this is how our life should be, or this is how I should have been, this is where I would have been, and we just lose ourselves in the moment. So it's very important if we restrain ourselves from thinking about how things should be and we remain in the moment, we are tend to speak the truth. So if you are thinking of advancing in spiritual path, one has to be truthful to themselves and to people around. The third restraint is astya, which means non-covetousness, as in not wishing for more than what one has, but being content and being happy with what one has. So there was one of the blog I created during this quarantine, and I this was a very important topic in that. I mentioned that we have to focus on the positive. So that is how you focus on the positive, that you be thankful or you be happy with what you have, where you are. That's a sense of gratitude. When we keep that, we invite more abundance in our life. So the fourth restraint is brahmacharya. So brahmacharya literally means to walk with Brahma, and according to Yoga Sutras, this practice will give one a great mental and physical strength because of the fact that your energies are not expended with anyone else. So people are looking for great mental and physical strength. They go for brahmacharya as well. The fifth restraint is aparigraha. Now we deal with this thing in everyday life a lot of times when we get attached into relationships with whether it's our friends, whether it's family, whether we like someone, we get possessive. So it's very important to be stay attached with detachment and not be possessive. So not being possessive also means that one is not attached to anything, not even their own body. So that is the state of great yogis, and it's tough to do such things in when we are on the planet, but we can always be mindful about it, and whenever we realize, we just detach ourselves and focus on things which makes us more independent, helps us to be ourselves, and learn the art of detachment. So this five restraints, if you practice mindfully, and there's no asana for it, but then this is if you think about these things in everyday life. For example, if you're getting possessive about somebody, you have to be quickly mindful that am I getting possessive? So you be mindful and you practice that, you detach yourself. So we can practice these self-control activities on day-to-day life, and the more we practice, the more we excel on the path of spirituality. So today we are going to perform the physical asana, which is asana is again one of the one of the 8 branches of Raja Yoga, which is physical exercise. And there's my one personal favorite, and that is Surya Namaskar. And that is so because it comes with great health benefits, and it's a combination of 12 asanas, 12 poses in one asana. So, if you're looking towards getting flexibility, you want mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, meditative mode, you can go for Surya Namaskar or Sun Salutation. Now, Sun Salutation can be done in the morning. Early morning is the best time, and we can also do it in evening when there's the sunset. So, Surya Namaskar basically means honoring the sun, giving prayers, saying prayers in the name of sun, and honoring the sun, the energy, and feeling that energy inside us. So today I am going to teach you step by step how Surya Namaskar has to be performed, because it is very important that you perform Surya Namaskar with understanding the technicalities, the posture, everything is very important. That is the reason in the group today I texted that I wanted volunteers. But if you feel confident enough that you can perform Surya Namaskar by watching this video, then that is amazing. But take care of your body alignments. How are you performing Surya Namaskar? And keep a watch on your breath as well. Now, Surya Namaskar is again a meditative state. You can do it in a fun way also. And if you perform Surya Namaskar for 10 minutes to 20 minutes every day, in just 1 month, you tend to perform 108 repetitions of Surya Namaskar. So, but for the beginners, we have to keep a watch. We have to go slow and steady. Surya Namaskar can be done in a slow motion, in a faster motion as well. So it depends on you. People who have lower back aches, they should definitely consult their doctors before performing Surya Namaskar. But my students are doing Surya Namaskar who has the complaint of lower back aches, but when they started doing Surya Namaskar, they did feel the work in their muscles. But then slowly and gradually, we took care of their postures, alignments, and in fact, it really helped them to overcome lower back pain. So you have to be mindful. The energy flows where the mind goes. So if you have any problem, maybe in your knee or in your lower back ache when you're performing Surya Namaskar, just imagine that the energy of sun is entering into your body and it is healing that part of your body. Right? So that's the power of visualization. You take in that energy, you sink in yourself, and then you put that energy, place it in the part where you have the pain or any injury, and just be mindful, just visualize that it's taking away all the pain and it's healing. Right? So in a moment I'll perform Surya Namaskar for you. And for that, I want everybody to stand up and just see how it has to be performed. enjoy the music. So now there is very fun way of performing Surya Namaskar. As I told you, it's a meditative state. You can perform meditation so that your mind doesn't go here and there, and you can perform all the asanas nicely. It's a set of 12 asanas. So I'll demonstrate the different asanas to you and just keep a check on the position of my back, the alignments, that how your back has to be straight, right? No slouching, no bending a lot, but then more of opening up and stretching, right? So how to make it fun? How to make Surya Namaskar fun? You can make Surya Namaskar fun and to keep the focus on the asana. You can, before performing the prayer, this is the prayer position, the prayer pose. So when you are in the prayer pose, you have to close your eyes and imagine that for a moment, probably 5 seconds, 10 seconds, take some time and think about yourself and appreciate yourself that you are performing this asana and with little self-care and love for yourself, just thank yourself for a while. That is the first prayer, meditative prayer. So now let's perform the asana and see how can we do Surya Namaskar. So you have to stand straight up on the floor and make sure your feet is not very far, not too close, and it has to be in a normal position and up on the floor, straight on the floor, and take your hands out, roll your shoulders back, open your chest, raise your hands in the prayer position, breathe in. Now when you stretch back, breathe out. Now bend forward. Make sure that you don't slouch. Your back has to be straight, straight, and you put your hands on the ground and try to touch your head with the knees. But make sure that your knees are long. It doesn't have to be this or this. That tends to put strain on your knees. So lock your knees, your hands should be on the either sides of your foot. And lift. Now take your right leg back. And let your knee touch the ground. Stretch out your toes. Now make sure that your knee and your toe is perpendicular, because most of the times what people tend to do is this, which puts a lot of strain on the knee. So you don't have to do this, it has to be straight. Right? Stretch your neck. And then come in a plank position. Make sure you're forward. Stretch. To the center. And stretch again. Knees locked. Back straight. Backwards. Or I hope you guys can put some comments. How are you doing? And I really wish to see a few participants next time so that I can keep a watch as to your postures, are they right, in the right alignment, and you don't do something which might end up hurting your body. But whenever you perform Surya Namaskar, you have to be very careful about your alignments. And if you are looking at Surya Namaskar as a practice for weight loss or a cardio workout, then you can do it faster. And if you want just the relaxation, more toning of the muscles, you can do the Surya Namaskar very slowly and gradually and not very fast. And also for the people who face lower back, I also have lower backache issues, but then Surya Namaskar really helps me to strengthen my lower backache. Right? So you can start with the repetitions of 12 to 14 for Surya Namaskar for the beginners. Don't, I know when we start doing yoga and when we are all pumped up and we really want to lose weight, we really need the flexibility and we want to flaunt it. It happens a lot of times, but then we have to be careful that we don't end up overdoing it and we don't end up hurting ourselves basically. And if you are very serious about your health and you have any issues with your joints or backaches, do consult a doctor before performing sun salutation. And if you do it regularly, in a month, as I told you, you can reach up to 108 rounds of sun salutation. And this is a great exercise because if you see at the other asanas, there's just one pose or it's a combination of 3 or 4 poses. But then sun salutation is a pose which is actually a combination of 12 different poses. So it gives the overall body workout, and plus it's a beautiful form of meditation also. And you can think of some good thoughts before performing sun salutation. And when we get into the prayer pose, you can just close your eyes and you can think of beautiful things. And we discussed about 2 prayers that you can do while starting Surya Namaskar. The first one was appreciating yourself, that you are doing the yoga and meditation, taking care of your own body and health. Say thanks to yourself, your body. And the second meditation you can do is think about somebody who makes you feel good, who makes you feel lighter. When we think about the person who makes us feel lighter and happier, we tend to focus on the better things in life. So that's a beautiful meditation technique, how to channelize your energies and how to channelize your mind, right? And the third thing, which is very important for me, and that is to not lose your compass, your own compass. Your inner compass is very important. We hear a lot of things from our relatives, our family, our friends, but we have to always go inwards and honor what we want. And when you go into meditation, that's the biggest benefit, that you gain more clarity about what you want, and you know that what is your compass, you believe in yourself, you are more confident, and you're healthier from mind, body, and soul. Right? Today's session was a little shorter because uh, I do not want you to do a lot of uh, physical exercise on just the second day of your yoga and meditation. But then I want you to pick up the pace slowly and gradually. And if there is any specific questions you have from me, if there is any technique you want to understand, if there is any question you want to ask me, you can always put it in the comments, or you can always put in personal message me, or you can put the message in the group. And I really appreciate that um, you guys are referring my sessions to your friends, and let's make it a habit that we perform yoga and meditation every day, not just for the physical health, but then for the mental, emotional, and spiritual health as well. Right? So, next time we are going to do something interesting, and I believe we want to do more of meditation, the experience of transcendent, and we do transcendental meditation. And there is also a healing session which I am planning. But if there's anything else you want me to cover up in the next few sessions, then you can let me know. I got a question about how to lose weight, so that is the reason today I demonstrated that Surya Namaskar is the best exercise to practice before performing any other asana for losing weight or flexibility, toning of your body. Right? So I'll take a leave now, and I really hope that we indulge in more and more conversations. I need more feedbacks, and I want to know that how can I help you, and let's get to know each other. Probably I can select two or three people on every live session, and everyone can introduce themselves so we all know each other, and it's just not a one-way session, because we want to do everything in a group with a group energy. We can literally create a ripple effect, and great things can happen when we are in a team. So let's come together and talk to each other and know more about each other, and continue this journey and support each other for continuing this journey for a longer period and for a fulfilling life. And thank you so much. Take care of yourself, and do watch the video again next time you practice sun salutation. And I want you to send me a few video of yours. If you can send me a video at least, I can see if your alignments are right. It's not that you won't make any mistakes. Even there are mistakes, I can correct you. But the most important thing is that you're doing it correctly and you don't end up harming yourself or getting any pain or injury. So do send me your video while performing sun salutation, and ask me any question anytime, and I'll be there to help you. Right? Thank you. Take care. stay fit and keep meditating.